Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 365. Pretty cool, right? You could watch one of these things every day for the next year and just be caught up. We'll probably be about 500 by then. Hey, cool. It's not bad. We've got a little pike here that we can try out. I've seen the Doctor LOR meta reports, and the Lurkers deck is currently the largest share of the meta game and constructed heavily because of Pike. I do feel like he's kind of garbage in Expedition. Maybe we'll feel a little differently after this run, but I've not had a whole lot of success with Pike. Kind of in general, my problem with Pike is you need to uh, either, there's kind of like two things with it, right? You either A, need to get him on top of your deck, which can be challenging to do. You either have to get lucky with a predict, so say you play a Zilean and did a good predict, then you can put him on top, or you have to have him in your hand and then use the Shurima card, like crawling from below, whatever it's called, to put him back on top of your deck, which is pretty tough to do because you have to physically draw two cards, which you may only have one copy of each of. And so I don't really like, counting on that kind of strategy. Otherwise, to getting to flip, you can try to use some of the strike cards, whether or not that's going to be like a siphoning strike out of Shurima or whatever, like whirling deaths out of Noxus. But that feels kind of tough to pull off as well. And so I've struggled with him in Lab of Legends. I've struggled with him in Expedition. I'm glad to seeing he's got some good stuff going on in Constructed, but it's not what we're really seeing here in Expedition. But this is the one we're going to take to talk about these other ones. The one I would ideally be taking here would be the Zilean. I do think the Zilean strategy is the real deal. Whether or not you take it as a Shurima only card pool, where you're playing with the Golden Ambassadors to give him +2/+2, or if you're chasing down the Predict strategy over in Piltover and trying to piece together the elusive dude deck. Both of those are reasonably strong. Interestingly enough, here with this Callista, I'm about to drop both of the Callistas off of tier 1 in the tier list. They might be dropping down to about tier 3. Off the top of my head, I can't quite remember which version of the decks this Callista is. I think in Afterlife they took out the Mist Wraiths. They might have also taken away Blighted Caretaker. Can't remember if this is the one they're trying to make an Ephemerals deck. I think the pairing with Lucian is trying to be the Shark Chariot deck, but they made some pretty big changes to the Callistas. She's going to be definitely making a drop on our next tier list. But, as we said, let's get this stuff pulled up here real quick. The things we're talking about we'll have over here at ftpbus.com. I've made my way about halfway through updating the Expedition Helper. I've gone through about, I don't know, 65 of the archetypes. There's 100 some now. So I'm about halfway there. I'll definitely get this completely done before the next tier list, and I'm hoping to have it done before the next upcoming weekend. But I know I haven't made my way to Lurkers Pyke, so we'll just pull him up in the spreadsheet. We can talk about him a little bit more and kind of my issue with this card pool. And so when I'm typically talking about Lurkers and what makes them good in Expedition, that is the Shurima half of this card pool. If you can see where I'm highlighting, it's over here. I can't actually edit this spreadsheet, so it's tough for me to say other than just trying my best to highlight things. But on the Shurima side, the cards are all extremely good. Call the Pack is the best Lurker card. Zersai Collar is a pretty top-notch unit coming with the Predict. And then the big boys, the Doombreaker and the Epic, all live in this card pool. And so, kind of the problem I run into with Lurkers is, say you have this Sharkling, you've got it down on the first turn, everything's going great. It's a 4/2 on the fifth turn, but you've just invested all this time and mana into making a big Sharkling that just trades with your opponent's 1 or 2 drop. And so, no matter how big your units get, they're still just going to trade away with your opponent's 2 drop. And so, if you have a 15/2 lurker unit because you've put all this work into it and you're doing so good attacking 14 times throughout the game, it just doesn't matter because it trades with your opponent's 2. And so, what I think is pretty important are hitting these Zersai Doombreakers and this Zerzareth the Under Titan, and not so much trying to get combos going with like Snapjaw Swarm. And so, that just is all in Shurima where all the good stuff is. And so I recommend you just draft 100% Shurima. Whenever you see a Rek'Sai, I recommend that you hard avoid the Bilgewater cards just so that you stay strictly into these cards that you want, because Sharkling is not good. Like Bloodbait, Snapjaw Swarm are like not super impressive. Hammer Snout's only good because it dishes out vulnerable. And so if we aren't like really excited about any of these cards, why do we ever want Bilgewater showing up in our card packs? And so that is the kind of ideal Lurkers deck, as I call it. But if you do start with Pyke, I think you either have to take Shurima so that you can just kind of get get the crumbles. If Rek'Sai is the meal, then you get the crumbles that fall off your plate. You can kind of hope for that, or you can try and jump into um, Piltover to get some of the predict mechanic. And so we'll see what shows up here. Again, I don't really like trying to stack this Pyke. I don't like a lot of the cards here. We are going to have to try and draft as many Lurkers as we can and as much of the Shurima half as we can. But we got to kind of see what shows up second to see how we want to kind of approach our decisions here. And I think this Time Lords Zilean is going to be just fine. It's going to put us into Shurima. There's going to be some predict cards coming out of here. We've already got 2 between Zilean and Ancient Preparations. And then the Xenotype Researchers is just an extremely high quality card. We can perhaps get a lucky hit here with the Researchers hitting Pyke. But most importantly, she has a lot of health. A 3/3 is a large unit as far as Shurima is concerned. And then if you just ever draw one of those dudes that you give in +3/+3, it's such a huge boost in the game. Whether or not it's like, even if it's just making like a 4/5/1 drop or then making a 6/6/3 drop, it's just humongous amount of stats that you're getting for little effort. And so she is extremely, extremely good. So I think these will be fine. We'll get the Zilean card pool pulled up as well. I know. He pairs up with Echo, but I don't really intend on drafting any of the Piltover cards that we have highlighted here. It just gets to be too much to try and chase all of these different strategies. The way that we'll end up kind of like trying to tier this off is like, do we have a Shurima Lurker? Then we'll probably take it. Do we have a Bilgewater Lurker? Those are kind of the tier below. We'll probably take it. And then after that, it's like, well, do we have any predict cards? Which we can, reasonably find over here with Zilean. Zilean predicts. There's Ancient Preparations. Time in a Bottle is garbage, but it also has predict. And then there's just some of the more useful cards like Psy Scout, where it's like, hey, at least I'm a unit. And so we can try and get things going that way. Again, I don't like hard pursuing the predict strategy because I don't feel like there's enough payoff for doing it, but I do think it's reasonable if you can find it on a card you would like to play otherwise. And so some not bad choices here, like Scrying Sands we really love. It's an extremely good card. Void Researchers, can't remember which one you are, but I'm sure you're fantastic nonetheless. But alrighty, let's see what we can do here. I think I'm on board with this strategy. Okay, and so here we've got the Lurkers. We've got a Snapjaw Swarm and a Vulnerable Lurker. These are just exactly what we're looking for, and I think we have to take these. The Predict and Spirit Fire is just a little bit too weak, and I'm not chasing down either the Sand Soldier or the Landmark strategy. Okay. Okay, and so with this one, it's reasonable enough to continue taking predicts. I don't want our top end to like really be Kahiri. I'm not a huge fan of this, but he's fine. He'll be a 4/4 for 6, sometimes, but then he'll be reasonably large others. He just doesn't pay off frequently enough for my happiness level. But the big thing with like Ancient Preparations is, say it's like turn 3 and we really need to hit a lurk. Say we're gonna play a Snapjaw Swarm, and things are gonna be horrible if we just run it out there naked with no knowledge. And so having these cheap predicts like Ancient Preparations is pretty nice for the lurk mechanic. And then I don't like playing things like Feral Prescience, but adding in at least getting a unit out of the Ancient Preparations is pretty good. Okay, interesting little set here. Lots of good cards. I do want to just pass on this Sharkling. I don't think this is that strong, but Lost Riches is quite good if you have a large amount of predicts. Over here, the highest quality cards here I think are the Perfectionist and the Time Trick, but I don't want to be diving into Piltover, so I'm just going to take the Scrying Sands and Kahiri. These are both just extremely high quality cards, and we're getting a really strong combat trick out of those. Okay, so here a fairly easy set. We don't want landmarks. We're not on theme with the Waking Sands or the Sandcrafter, so we got a lurker here in this in the Snapjaw Swarm. We're gonna have to take him. Okay, here's the good lurk, right? Hitting the Zersai collar. That's perfect, along with the Hammer Snout. Very easy take. Okay. I don't think we're going to make too much usage out of Mind Meld in our deck with 2 spells, so we can go ahead and skip over that one. And so what this one essentially comes down to is, do we want to have the Predict card in the Chronomancer, or do we want to have some interaction and a Black Market Merchant? And I think I just want to take the Merchant here. We do have some combos with the Naturalist, and that we already have 2 Ancient Preparations. Like, this is just a great card to turn into a 5/4 unit. But that feels kind of thin. I do worry about having enough interaction. We do have the 2 or 3 Redfin Hammer Snouts, which give us some interaction, but man, we're just never going to get usage out of this Black Market Merchant, though. Maybe we do just have to take the Naturalist and hope for the best. The 2 cost, the Chronomancer is just extremely good anyways. Okay, and here, careful preparations. Do not like this card. This puts a card into your deck, and then you predict. So, if you could put a card on top with this, that would be reasonable. Give us a good way to, take advantage of Pyke, but just not good here. We're getting a Zersai Collar out of this one. I don't like the list that much. It feels like if the list was a card in, say, I don't know, Noxus, then you might be interested in it, but there's enough predict running around or enough vulnerable running around in Bilgewater where this isn't a super big deal. But the Zersai Collar's too good to be passing up. Okay. I think we're going to have to take the Ruin Runner here. Our top end is extremely light at this point, and we're getting pretty close to the end. So the time has come just does not count as top end. I really do not like Brash Gambler. The payoff for when this works just does not make up for the times when you play this and your opponent hits it with a vengeance. And so I'll be looking to trade her away as quickly as possible. But if that's the price I have to pay for a Ruin Runner at this stage, I guess we have to pay it. And then another relatively weak set of cards. I don't want the Time Has Come. I don't want Time in a Bottle. I don't want Salt Spire. So we do have the double Lurk package over here on the left, which is relatively strong enough. Oh, beautiful. A Shapestone with a Ruin Runner. That's a very easy take. Very easy. Okay. All right, interesting one. We do have the 2 lurks. How many lurks do we have up to this point? We have 2 Bloodbaits, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 10. That's not bad at this point. That's a pretty decent number. I mean, if you figure you have 30 cards in your deck and you're getting to look at 3 of them in a predict, you should probably hit one. I know that's not how the math works, right? But if you get to look at 3 cards out of your deck and a third of your deck has lurk, then that math kinda works out. I don't, I don't need some nerd to tell me that's not how it works. I get that's not how it works, but that's kind of close enough. But I'm kind of leaning towards just taking this Kahiri here with the Preservarium. Getting these 4/4s for 3 shouldn't be that tough to do. And then we have the 3 Hammer Snouts along with the list, and so we have just so many good ways to take advantage of this in the early game. Okay, and so here. I think we have to take the Hired Gun. I don't really want Bayou Brunch, but these other cards are garbage. Again, we don't want any of these token generating cards. We don't want Clockwork Curators. Time in a Bottle is just garbage, and so we're just stuck taking the Hired Gun. It's like, hopefully we'll just get a way to trade it away. Okay, beautiful here. Getting to trade out the Brash Gambler for the Lost Riches is extremely good. All right, so yeah, we're only stuck with like one horrible card. Yeah, I think we're looking decent. Like as much as we're looking for card ways to make a Pyke deck work. I think this is pretty close to about as good a Pyke deck as you're gonna get. And okay, we do have to turn something premium here. Can't remember if we picked up the Hatchling. I think we did manage to pick up one of these. He's the Fearsome, and so he'll be ready to go premium for this one. Ready to show up on turn 1, hit a couple Lurks blind. Just exactly what we need out of a premium card. Okay, here we go. And cool, yeah. I was hoping to get this video out yesterday, but I had one of those first world problems crop up as to where one of the perks to being out here in Kansas City is we have a micro center, and I saw that they had a video card shipment yesterday, and so like I'd built the computer here that I've been working on, I don't know, built this like 6 months ago or so, and I didn't realize like what a horrible time it was to try and get a video card. Like I've always just built computers. It's kind of whatever. I don't get a lot of like satisfaction out of it, but you tended to always be able to like save a bit of money over getting a pre-built. And I just didn't realize what a shit show it was to get a video card until like after I'd already ordered most of the stuff. And so I didn't have to pay like quite the hit on the video card. Like I typically, because I don't, I mean, we're sitting here playing a children's card game that barely has barely has graphics in it. Like you're out here trying to play a game that you can play on your phone. You don't need a high end PC to run this thing. But so I typically end up just getting video cards that were like between mid grade and top end like 2 years ago. And that typically hits like the price point and quality level that I'm looking for. But that was just like impossible to find, whether or not it's Bitcoin miners or chip shortages or whatever the deal is. You just can't find it. And so here, this is an easy hand with a Predict card, a Zilean, and a Kahiri. But kind of long story short, Micro Center will sell video cards at retail. You just have to get there when they actually have them. And so I caught wind that they were getting them, and so had to go and pick one up and then put it in my machine. Here, this is Kahiri's going to be a 4/4. We'll just go ahead and pick him up. It turned out reasonably well. We got it here. I got it in there without too much hassle. All of our cards are ultra premium quality now. Look at that. Look how good that Predict looks now. I said this is just a children's card game that didn't need graphics, but dang, we're looking pretty hot today. Okay, so as far as these go, I think I just want to take the Hammer Snout over the Time Bomb. Like, I guess kind of the awkward thing with this is we want to play the two Kahiris, but I think it'll be okay to just like we'll play the Kahiri on our opponent's turn. Let's just keep this back and block, and then on our next attack token, we'll be able to get the vulnerable attack going. I guess technically we could vulnerable this turn and then try to get a quick attack challenge with Pyke. This doesn't seem ultra necessary. Wait, is this how we want to go about this? If he has a Brother's Bond, it's not that bad. If he has a Weapon Hilt, we're going to lose our Zilean, but again, not that bad. I kind of like think these days, like how do I feel about putting a bunch of weapon shards into Riven's hand since she can just come down and make the sword immediately now? I think we'll probably, being in a game 0, I think I'm okay with it, to where he only has one copy of Riven. If he had 3 copies, we might have to rethink that. This Pyke going is just so far away from doing anything. We haven't hit any lurks yet. He's not going to flip. We just want to get our bigger units on board. Cool. That's nice. We want to wait on the ancient preparations. I think we do. Like if we want to make a lurk attack, then we can try and put something on top with this. I think this is good. Let's just pass, wait and see if he makes an attack. If we just get to bank this mana, I think that's pretty okay. Otherwise, I'm going to follow up with Pyke here. Okay. Served us well, Zilean. You gotta predict. You got a 2-for-1. You put some cards in our deck. Not that bad. This is fine. Okay, and then we could just go in for the 6. Oh, he got his dude back. That's right. Play that Waking Sands? I feel like you wanted to play the Waking Sands. Alright, let's start with Ancient Preparations. See if we can't put a thing on top. We can't, but we got a Time Bomb, which is kind of interesting. Zilean's not going to flip, but we could get a pretty decent AoE here. let's get ourselves out of this mess. Hang on. Let's see if we can't hit a lurk. There we go. Do we really want Bloodbait, though? It's not that strong. I think I'd rather just have Lost Riches. That's okay. Long as we know that the... we're going to miss the lurk here. I think it's okay. What's Pyke really doing here? If he gets a kill on Pyke, it's fine. Okay. This is like at this stage what we're on turn 3-6, turn 6, and we've hit 0 lurks. So like what do we really expect to get out of them? This is going to hit Kahiri. Alright, let's just go ahead. We'll go ahead and give him the knowledge that the time bomb's coming, but I want to come out here and draw a card. Oh, second time bomb. Didn't expect that to come up. Been itching to get this Waking Sands going. Okay. Sure. Comes the sword, you got it. It's relatively low value here. Oh, he just didn't hit with it. Okay, so do we ever really want to just go for lurks here? God, I love picking up this 4 mana this 4/4 for 6. Always feels good. Okay. We're just like so close to lethal. I think we have to like punch in something, but we're just so far away from actually winning this game. Okay. Feels like that was fairly dangerous. No. maybe not. Okay, I think we gotta get a dude on board. I think this game is out of reach. Not a bad thing to put on Sivir. Right, so we knew the swarm was coming. Yeah, this is gonna ace us here. Hey, we hit that lurk though. Gets him to 2. Okay. Okay. How much is this? 8, 11, 16? We just need to prevent 6 of it. Let's gotta block everything. It's a little unfortunate.
Business as usual.
Probably just dead here. It seems like he's trying to be clever about lining up a brutal strike or something. Okay. Sure. All right, is what it is. We're a little bit short on the damage. I guess that kind of you could expect that when you're playing a lurk deck and you only hit 1 lurk until the end of the game. But we had some choices. We could have predicted some lurks to the top and chose not to do it. So, is what it is. All right, this is not tough here. Like, I don't really want these blood baits, but it's just such a reasonable way to guarantee that you're going to hit a lurk if you need to. So I think I'm going to go ahead and skip over all of these. LOR Guardian up as well. Right, I think it's up here now. I mean, we did make the conscious decision to not attempt to flip our Zilean. We could have gotten there. We could have gotten a flip on him Well, I guess the time bomb showed up after we got rid of him, but didn't feel like we really just had the cards to throw down for him anyways. Guess we could have. Tough. Right. Let's see what we can do against Victor and Azir. Seems like a reasonable start. Okay. It's got a turn 1 play, a predict for our lurkers. It's got a Kahiri for the predict, and then a Pyke on 4. Alrighty. I'm on board. Let's get this hatchling down. The question becomes like, do we even want to hit a lurker on a predict? That's a that feels pretty good about this deck, right? Oh man, we can put the Snapjaw Swarm on top. Probably not. Let's take a Hammer Snout. We can buy you brunch something over onto Pyke. Have him get the big attacks in that way. Okay. Get that. We hit a lurk. I could have predicted that one. Okay, I'm gonna pick this guy up. Should be able to set up a pretty decent attack with Kahiri on our next turn. He never attacks with Azir here. Sure. This should be pretty strong for us. Can't get... I mean, do we just want to ignore the Azir and just kind of go for the predict? I do kind of like that. And then maybe we set up like a Bayou Brunch Pyke on a turn later. Like, what's the worst that happens here? He plays like a 3-5? Okay with slamming our units into a 3-5. Gonna play Pyke next turn, then do the Bayou Brunch and a vulnerable attack. Seems nice, right? Go. Gotta start blocking at some point, my man. Sure. Just like so we can get an attack. I figure he'd be kind of like done with the Azir plane at this point, right? Like what's Azir gonna do this game? You're never gonna get this big like sand soldier thing going. You just need to be out here preventing damage. Works for me. Of course we hit it. We're so good at this game. Of course. Okay, so don't think we get like super punished even if he passes on us. I don't want to really get the hammer snout snatched up by the roiling sands.
Our city is in your care, and you in ours.
How we feel about that? This is the problem with the lurk mechanic and everything having just a little bit of health. I think this is fine. He's going to attack with something, but probably not everything. Okay.
All are welcome. Watch me. Careful. Steady now. It's not safe. I must be off.
I don't really want Kahiri going down to 3 and just trading with Rockhopper, but I don't care what happens to the Chronomancer. I think this is fine. Not going to have good blocks on her. Then I would assume his play next turn is going to be... that still hits, right? I think his play next turn is going to be doing some kind of Waking Sands just as a block, which we're reasonable enough to deal with.
Sharima will rise. You cannot hold destiny. Watch me.
I wanna do the Bayou Brunch. It's just not relevant here. maybe we'll try something on our next attack. Bayou Brunch Pyke. Ah, it's for the memes though. So meme-horrific to to get that Bayou Brunch happening. Fine game. Fine. Okay. Mana Crystal? Who's he picking up? Azir? Or picking up Victor? It's fine.
Tide's rising. I remember you.
Okay, no lurk this time. That's okay. I think we've gotten our we've gotten our luck as far as the lurk is concerned.
You disrupt our peace.
No, we're just lethal, huh? Who'd have guessed it? I was so focused on going for the memes on this that we just had the lethal. This is what it is.
More names off the list. More names on it.
Okay. So we're just gonna keep taking these Pyke piles. It's a pretty decent one. It's got a Doombreaker with it. Like realistically, I think if we weren't out here just trying to draft Pyke, and what we probably deal with in the future is to just take the Rek'Sai here. But what's the deal with this effing circle on the screen? You see that, right? Yeah, I'm on the. See it there. What's the deal with that damn circle? On top of, I'm gonna point at the screen like you can see that, but up there by Pyke's head. The hell? It's not my monitor because it's showing up on the video. Huh. Okay. Who knows? Maybe it's a new feature. It's like I got that new video card and had like, dang, did we get these little black circles on here now? But no, the video card we went with the GeForce RTX 3060. It was a little more than I wanted to pay for it, but it was the like I said, where I just typically get the here, hang on, let's get rid of Lost Riches. Hammer Snout's an okay keep. We're on the evens. We can probably hang on to Bloodbait. But, I mean, I don't know exactly where the card I would have wanted would have landed. It would have been some kind of like a mid-range super from the 2000 series or one of the top end in the 1000 series. And hopefully it would have just been like $300 these days. But good luck finding that stuff. Alright, so we get a Predict. Let's see if we hit a Lurk, and then if we don't hit a Lurk, I'll go ahead and play Bloodbait. Perfect. Collar works just fine. I don't think we want to ever Bloodbait next turn, right? Could probably pretty safely throw it down against whatever this Hecarim deck is doing. Like, what's he gonna do? Play a Shark Chariot or something? But Pesky Spectre. Kind of want to save the Predict for next turn, but this is okay. Since we have, since we already have like Pyke in hand next turn, we're probably just gonna add Pyke and then Bloodbait. Okay. This would be a pretty reasonable spot for Pyke. Get these strikes in against these smaller units. Here, I'm just gonna take this 5 damage. I'm not super worried about this. He's gonna have to add something a little bit more compelling for me to want to deal with his ephemerals. This thing is a little more compelling. Big chunk of damage coming in for 5. Got to prevent something then. He's probably not got like too much in the way of damage-based spells. They took Black Spears out of all the Callista decks. I think it might still be in Hecarim. I don't remember on that one. But this is fine.
They thought they were safe.
What you gonna do, my man? Not play ephemerals is what it looks like. All right, I'm coming in. Okay, well, let's see who can win the race. We can throw a bunch of Snapjaw swarms at his face. You're guaranteed to get a lurk, and then they can also, block fearsomes. So might be reasonable. Well, they can't take down the Harbinger though, which is kind of awkward. How far away are we from Bayou Brunching Pike up to, what do we need, 9? No, we need 11. Let's get +7 attack. Roll and 1-1. Okay. We got to get stuff on board. Okay. Just take 2. I think we're okay. Just take 2. Sure. Seems fantastic for us. We missed, but we get the damage in. Okay. Sure. All right, so what's an open look like? We have for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if we want to blood bait it. Okay. It has been decided. This will take him to 1. And can force him to, like, whatever he has to block a Snapjaw Swarm, right? Assuming it has 3 or less health. Maybe he'll just pass it back to us. Oh, snap. Get him. This thing can't block. I did the mathematics on that one. Curse Keeper can't block. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Bloodbait. Oh, okay. Sorry about you, Brunch. Once I scrolled our way down here to the end, we got to call the pack, which we have to take. This let us, this can put Pyke on top of our deck, put a Lurk on top of our deck, and then it can be used to just generate some Lurkers in your hand. Pretty top notch. So good, looking good. We've gotten rid of the 2 cards I was kind of leery of taking, and Brash Gambler and Bayou Brunch. We were able to trade away pretty quickly, so I think we're looking okay. Like, our deck still doesn't have any removal in it. Doesn't have like siphoning strikes or anything. It's only got like four vulnerables, but at least on the unit standpoint, we're looking okay. Our top end isn't that great. We only have the 2 Ruin Runners, but serviceable. I don't know if this is 7-win serviceable, but I think it can make a run at it. All right, the cloning program. Let's see if we run into all of the little all the little elusives. And so this, I think we probably just have to keep both and just see which we want to play. I really would like to mulligan a little harder for a early game play. We found a Zilean, but this hand was kind of a recipe for disaster if things didn't come together quite right. Here's the Sump Worker. And ideally with these, you need to kill them as soon as they come down. We have to take the Hammer Snout here. Because if he's able to play the second one, then it's just going to flip and he's going to have these things forever. But if you can kill the first one before he's able to play the second, then he needs a third one to really get the chains of things going. Oh yeah, I gotta hit a blind lurk with this thing though. We're just gonna have to give it time.
We're wasting time. Acacia needs our help.
Time spent planning. Never wasted.
That's what it is. Even if we had, if we hit the lurk, we could still take this thing down, but we wouldn't have the means to stop him from getting the posse going.
I don't like this timeline at all.
Yeah. I don't want to fight you.
Pyke ever block anything? It doesn't look like it. What are we gonna do? We're just gonna block Echo with Zilean. And I think that'll be it. Okay. He's never attacking with the gearhead.
There's gotta be more to you than just killing Pyke.
Gotta be more to you than just killing, Pyke. Ooh, that was a draw. So we can get everything going this turn. Put Pyke on top. You'll get to see here. You get to see like if you watch the animations. I'm trying to highlight the deck. If you look at the deck when we make this attack, you can see it's going to show Pyke whenever he comes up, and so your opponent does get to know that you're going to have the death from below on turn. You see that little thing with the eyeballs and the mask pop up. You're going to know that Pyke is there. It's going to be get excited. Gotcha. Oh, and he drew it. Must be nice. Okay. We got another one on top, but kind of hoping to have a big turn here.
Heading topside.
Okay, so do we want to let him hit the predict, or do we want to... I think I want to just try and take down the elusive. We still have the vulnerable onto Echo if we want to try and take him down next turn. Play a Tom Twister or whatever this thing's called. Is he playing counterfeit copies now? Okay. Alright, and then I think we should have good attacks next turn. I'm not going to play any of these cards. I think we want to get the Island Navigator down. We hit like a 2-attack Scout, then we can just try and use that to take down his Echo. It is nice using the Pyke onto Echo, since if he strikes, he still gets that fleeting time strike, so if we quick attack him, he doesn't get the extra card. But I don't think we're in a spot to try and be that clever. Okay. And I don't want to add any landmarks here. It would be nice to be able to spend the mana, but if we play a landmark, then we don't get the summoned unit off the Island Navigator. Still unfortunate we don't have any spells to really like take advantage of this. We don't even have like a Call the Pack, a Lost Riches, handful of Blood Baits in the list. Not a lot to really get going with those spells. Man, Elor Guardian still hasn't put the new card tooltips up. Oh, we got a free mana. I don't think we'll be able to use it, but it's a cool little thing to pick up.
See? This is progress.
Is he doing that now? Oh, okay. I didn't realize we won that one. So cool. So our Pyke wasn't about to flip or anything, so I don't know what the deal with that was. Okay, well, we are getting a big jawfish with our Pyke. These games haven't been going that late, but we want the third Pyke. We, of course, want the Epic, and I think that'll be good. Got 3 wins. more than I expected. I'm not a huge fan of Pyke, and so it's kind of like, all right, we've got this trial out of the way. We don't have to deal with this anymore. But as far as these go, like I think I'm kind of okay with this. I think we're good to be shuffling Pikes into our deck now that we have 3 copies of him. I want to hang on to the Researchers. I don't want Hammer Snouts. It's just not a good early game unit. This is fine. It is a little awkward in that we can't predict and play a Swarm in the same turn. But Kahiri's a good pickup. Is this dragon stuff? Didn't hit it. Come on, guy. It's tempting to block just to get this thing off the board, but we'll save that for another day.
What do you make of that? I'm not sure.
Come hither, you beasts of glory!
That's scary. Don't have any way to deal with that thing. Had it on top? I didn't catch the animation, but that's pretty sick.
Ends at the top.
Sweet if he had the bonus attack as well. Alright, things can get interesting when you have the Bone Skewer in your hand as well. We can just kind of throw Pyke on top of our deck if we want. Gotta be really careful with his attacks here as well. He doesn't want to be putting damage onto Pyke. Cool. Have to open. It's just so, I mean, if he had a 5-cost dragon, why wouldn't he have played the 5-cost dragon last turn? Unless he just drew it. But yeah, that feels like a little dangerous. Also kind of want to just get this Bone Skewer going as well. Alright, let's play Kahiri.
We'll be waiting. Try not to touch anything important. I'll behave. Hold.
Come back later.
Doing it this way, we're just going to redraw him, but I think it's okay. And then well, hang on, we can just throw one of our other units at this thing. This is dangerous. If he has a Targon Shield or a Combat Trick, this is abysmally bad. But I do worry about this Mountain Sojourners just staying on the board. Like, the safer play is to just kind of like Pyke into Tayari so that he doesn't get the additional +2/+2. Oh man, he's taking forever. Whew. Okay. Alright, I feel better now. I think we're in a pretty decent spot after after pulling that one off. Just have Clockling. Oh, Clockling, we just immediately drew it. Oh, that's what Bone Skewer does. Okay, that makes sense. We didn't bother to put Pyke on top of our deck. The weirdo draw that this guy has. Alright, let's keep the greed levels going. Is he finally gonna have back-to-back or something? Pale Cascade's fine. But I mean, he hasn't been doing anything, so we should be able to get considerably wider than him. Let's see. We can put Pyke on top and then Snapjaw Swarm.
We can always rely on you to keep us safe.
Hide no longer.
Bank the spell mana. Since we are gonna physically draw the Pyke spell next turn. So weird that he's doing this now. We've made between those Pyke plays that we made.
Bring me something I can use.
Yeah. I'm gonna open with the squad. There's just a ton of damage. Can't ignore this amount of damage.
Must we fight?
Judgment. How big is Pyke? Are you serious? Judgment? At least it doesn't kill everything. Okay. Judgment. Okay, okay. I'm over it. It's a boosted Zilean. And the fish. We don't have any lurks on the board, but we can get a Pyke on the board. That should be close enough. Can't play both cards next turn, but it's okay. How many lurks are we at? Well, this will kill as a dragon. Pyke hitting first? That'd be cool if Pyke hit first. Yeah. White tail looks like he's second. F. Okay. Has to be fine. At least our big fish can survive an Eclipse Dragon. Like 9 and go to 2. That seems scary. At least the fish survives. Move it left, move it right. Left, move it right. Okay. That's not that bad. That's kind of scary, but I think we should be able to get like an open attack kill on this guy next turn, and hopefully the Aurelian Soul just doesn't matter. They fixed this bug. That's annoying. So make more animations, please.
Stand in trouble far as the eye can see.
Don't touch it.
Okay, and then do we want a draw at the Lost Riches? Probably not. Let's Time Bomb first. Okay. I think we're good. We're gonna kill his dragon. Have 2 attackers to get the Aurelian Soul. Even if he goes up to 10, we should be lethal, right? Or I guess I was thinking if he gained +5, but that spell's just +4 now. Right. Well, if this goes wrong, I guess we got a good treasure out of this. Maybe that would be a game winner as well. Okay, that doesn't do anything. There's no burst spells out of the Celestials. Okay. Not bad. There's burst spells, but they just aren't relevant. So, I'd say this one is done. All right, GG.
Time is a teacher to us all.
Good job, Zilean. Time is the teacher to us all. Okay, what do we got here? We got a Dunebreaker, which I'd love to pick up. And then it's offering up removal spells. I think we just need to take the Dunebreaker here. That's our second one now, right? So our top end is actually looking pretty reasonable. I'd like to trade away Kahiri, but 2 Ruin Runners, 2 Dunebreakers, and a Jawfish seems pretty good. So, looking good. Happy with that. Okay. Cool. So, A lot of that game got a little lucky in that game, I think. He had a weird draw with his dragons. Seemed like he had those combat tricks forever. I don't know what he was doing, not taking down Pyke sooner, but it seemed like he had a lot of opportunity to just take us down and didn't take it. So take your wins where you can get them. All right, this is not good. I think, do we hang on to Hammer Snout just to have a unit? I don't think so. I don't really want that. Give me better cards. These are better cards, I guess. And then you have to run yourself into the question. It's like, do I really want to wait on my ancient preparations to take it down with a naturalist? I think there's some times where we would want to do that, but not when we actually have Kahiri in our hand. People out there mowing the lawn. I don't think it's coming through on the mic. All right, it seems to be good. Oh, here comes the aggro. Okay, we could have blocked his smaller unit in the Sand Soldier, but I think we might as well just get rid of the big guy. We're about to take over the Spord.
We can't finish if we never begin.
Taking down the big guy. Seems awkward for him. Okay with this. I mean, if he's trying to do go wide stuff, we have the Navigator for next turn. We have value attacks all over the place here. I think that seems pretty decent. Would like to try and get Snapjaw Swarms going, but we just can't. We can't just blindly send them into his 2-attack units. It's fairly abysmal here.
Putting study into practice.
Block. I'll take whatever you got to throw at me here. Why is he doing this now? What changes out of a predict that makes you not want to attack?
The ocean charts our course.
Might pick up a better blocker. We didn't. The Navigator is a better blocker. We have value blocks on both of his dudes now, but
Always forward.
ooh, hit a lurk. Go us. Okay, and then the thing I'm thinking that we're looking to line up here as far as our spells are concerned. Oh, never mind. We'll just kill his Windswept Tomb. I was going to say, I think I want to wait a turn to play the Preservarium and then just blow it up the Naturalist to get the unit, but his Tomb is just way too high-powered for us to ignore. And a lot of his blocks here are back to being bad. Okay, take the card for free. Up Doombreaker.
Shurima, your emperor has returned.
Like if I knew we had one on top, I'd run out the Swarm here. Are we just kind of like willing to do it anyways? That seems a little greedy. Let's be real.
Let's test my theorem.
Oh. Okay. Well, whatever tricks he has, I'm on board with interacting with them. And so we'll just throw away the trashier units that we have. Then why? What compels you to do this?
In Shurima's name.
Huh. Okay. Sure. That seemed like a little spewy. Alright, well I'm going to start with the Navigator just to see if we hit a lurk. Man, that would have been sick to play a Naked Swarm on the previous turn. But now we can like draw cards and shuffle and stuff to try and hit lurks. So let's see how this pans itself out. Now he's not playing any cards. Are we going to get Spirit Fired? It's okay if we do.
Yeah, why not?
Sedition.
Works for me. Taking some odd lines this game, but worked out good for us.
If it's medicine, I can write it.
Alright, let's get these things going. And then we'll just Lost Riches after this. I don't think we care too much about this stuff. Like, he's going to have to throw a Rockhopper in front of this. We'll have a second one. He's going to have to put a Zir in front of. This game's just done taking this line. Oh, Mystic Shot.
I go.
Okay. He's out of cards. This is done. Let's be real. But we can't get the Pyke flip. No, he surrenders. So we can get the Pyke flip. You at least get to watch the animation because we're going to draw the... no, we just draw the thing. Wouldn't have been guaranteed. His flip is scary. You can go watch our... go watch our Lab of Legends videos. You can see a lot of Pyke flips happening. But okay. Well, here, I have a hard time passing up a Xenotype Researchers. I really love this card. I would be okay with more Doombreakers. I still feel like trading out our Blood Baits for the Doombreakers is at the end of the day good. It is nice having, you know, the guaranteed, the guaranteed Lurker, but the Xenotype Researchers just in these games to where, again, just like hitting one, even these games where the things don't quite go as you planned, drawing one single unit with the +3/+3 is huge. So reasonably happy to pick these up. So I think it's one of the... I don't want to go out and say it's the strongest Sharma card, but it's certainly a sleeper and up there in the top. Excuse me. Okay. Some Misfortune Swain. Bringing Constructed out here into the lands of Expedition. Hey, not a bad start here. Let's see if we hit this blind lurk on the first turn. No, not cool, dude. We don't like to have fun. Let's see if we would have hit. We would have hit. God, that would have been so good. Okay. Just gotta run it out here. We're gonna throw the Researchers in front of the Disciple. Assume he's gonna have the means to stop this, but I think it's a little greedy to assume that we can play a Collar and hit a Predict and have everything go right. So nice if we knew we were gonna hit. This turn would have been beautiful if we could have just thrown away the Hammer Snout. It's okay. Swain's halfway to leveling. Seemed like he was getting pretty close here. Okay. Why? You want a Plunder? That has to be for a Plunder, right? He's gonna play Black Market Merchant or something. I don't really want any of these. I mean, we already have one Hammer Snout in hand. The only card I worry about here would be like a Swain. I think we're okay to let that go. It'd be good to draw Doombreaker, though. Alright, so we got a Lurk on top. We can play the list if we need to. Seems odd. Okay, puts the spell in hand, but then it has slow. To double up. Okay. Interesting. Seems awful aggressive. Are we just going to get burnt out here? I want to go ahead and get this going. Might as well get the damage in, get the unit on board. Because, I mean, realistically, we're just going to play Dunebreaker next turn and then probably open. I mean, we can get ourselves into these spots to where we want to... oh, this is going to be bad, isn't it? We're going to double up again. But we can get to these spots to where we get a double attack with the Dunebreaker. Huh. He didn't even play knock him down? That's scary. Oh no, we should have played the Bloodbait. We can still like not die this turn depending on what he does, but we should have Bloodbaited to guarantee this is lethal, because he can just take this damage. That was definitely a mistake to not Bloodbait here. Then our backup plan is going to be to lurk something and then pop it with the list and a overwhelm attack from the Dunebreaker. I just saw all these stats out here and assumed we had the lethal. Okay. Should have got it there. We beat this thing? Or are we short? Oh man, because we've effed this up all over the place. I feel like we've punted this one. Well, we can still pick it up though, right? We can get this up to 6. We just play everything and don't. Oh my gosh. Oh no, we haven't played a landmark this game. Dang. Grant an enemy vulnerable. If it's already vulnerable, the strongest ally starts charging it. Okay. Alright, well, I'm not going to play the Shapestone. There is an argument to do this, to save our Dunebreaker, but I want to protect our units from a double up if that's what he manages to have here. Definitely should have ended this one, though. That was definitely missed that lethal. Might get something clever with this Snapjaw Swarm. This has 2 going on it. It's to 0. Okay. Yeah, we should have won that one. That was bad. But that's what you get when you get excited for your attacks and just throw your stuff in the red zone. So we'll call that one a win. That's the way it goes, right? You get to call it a win. I'm gonna send an email to Riot support and say, hey, I found the lethal. Take this back. Oh man, it sucks to be passing on the Dreadway, but I think Call the Pack is just too important here. We're gonna skip over all of these. Okay, well, let's see if we can't salvage it. It would be nice to get this Pyke to 7 wins so we could just never draft him again. If we can maintain our 100% win rate. A lot of Swain today, interesting. Alright, let's get rid of everything. We want those early game plays and some predicts and stuff. Bloodbait's here just taunting us. Not the Snapjaw Swarm. Sure, we might be able to just attack with it next turn.
To serve the greater good. I'll show the hunters.
Wants to go for it. Do you want to just go for it? Nope. I don't blame you. It's a tempting burst pass here, right? If we want to get a hired gun with the Bloodbait going, but I'm not going to do that. Do want to hit the Lurk here. We have to hit it. If he has a combat trick to win this, I think I'm okay with it. I don't care if he plays a sharpened resolve here. Weapon hilt's fine too. It's going to get him up to 2 sword parts. Get a guaranteed 2/2 Snapjaw Swarm if we want next turn. Don't really want to do that, but maybe if we really want to hit these lurks. Rather be playing like hired guns into Pyke, but if we want a 5 attack Pyke, we'd have to do something now. How he reacts to this. He doesn't have the unit. This will shut down his attack. Let's do this. And if he blocks, we can just try and take Tarek down next turn. I think if we're getting like Tarek to spend spells like out of combat, then that's probably pretty decent for us, right? Like if he has to play a Blessing of Tarek on our turn as opposed to being on his turn and getting to double it up, it seems pretty decent. Whatever trick is, I'll trade it for our 2/2. It's fine. This is dangerous grounds for Tarek. I know he's not playing 3 copies of him, but he does have the 2 fragments in his hand. It was a little on the greedy end. Swain. Want to just slam units into it? I think I'm okay with that. We okay to take a Swain hit? Yeah, I could take a Nexus hit from Swain. That's fine. Oh, so close to lethal. Interesting. I need to spend the Snapjaw Swarm onto the Swain block, but otherwise... Oh, that's a lot of stats. You can't play any more spells after this. Interesting. That doesn't seem good. We're fine to just take the 8 hit. He can take down both of his champions and only lose a Snapjaw Swarm. Combat trick here, but he hasn't like combat trick the whole game. I really don't get this. He has to have hit like the overwhelm. Okay. I don't know what I'm missing here. This is so weird. This open should be lethal. Like, how has he gone this far without playing like spells or anything? I don't. I mean, we can both Swarm and Pyke. If the Swarm misses, that's so bad, though. Alright. Missed. Has to have something, right? Blade's Edge to self. What a weird game. You just have a handful of units or something. I don't know. That was... I don't feel like we should have ever won that game. So surprised you didn't just have a... like literally any combat trick at any point, or he had to have hit like +2 attack overwhelm, or like not quick attack. He didn't use Tarek on that attack, but he had 2 fragments in his hand. Like, I don't know. He lost me on that one, and so as far as these go, I think I'm fine to trade out the list for the Doombreaker. Pick up another Lurker. He's the top end we want. Like, I get the things that you're supposed to be doing with the list. I just don't get really excited about them. Like, you can get those extra Pyke attacks in. Same thing with Chrono Shift, right? Chrono Shift is set up to where you get Pyke into combat, you Chrono Shift him, he dies, and then he still gets his strike in and stuff. So I'm not super interested in that either. But here, Ruined Runner and Doombreaker are pretty similar, but the Doombreaker is more on theme. Don't want Chrono Shift. This is a tempting one. I really like the researchers, but I think we have to hang on to our Scrying Sands. Don't want Wise Fry. Keeping our Kahiris, keeping our Shaped Stone. I think I don't want the list. I'll hang on to the Predict. Never trading Call the Pack. Don't want Double Trouble. Kahiri, I could see an argument for, but I think I'd rather just have the Naturalist. I'd rather have the just some of the potential combos with it, just a cheaper unit. The ultimately the problem with Kahiri is he just doesn't get in for damage. Like, yes, he has Fearsome, but on turn like 9 or whatever, it's still pretty easy to just throw stuff in front of Kahiri. It's too challenging to get a kill with him without having Overwhelm. But that seems like a start. How do we play this out? We're on the odd attacks, so we'll get to hit with the Collar on turn 3. Can Hammer Snout on 2. Okay. On board. Pyke. Something cool. Really want to pick any of these up. Six drops are just a little too expensive here, and I don't want more Hammer Snouts. So, ooh, they did add whatever this guy's called, the Wind and the Wave. They added him to at least like 2 or 3 card pools. It's like I think somebody at Riot caught one of my videos on how to play Kindred and how to play Callista and the importance of picking up all your Cursed Keepers. They did like a lot of swapping as far as like Cursed Keeper style units go, and still need to Hammer Snout here. It seems like they took a lot of them out of the game and replaced them with the first wave or the Wind and the Wave, whatever this is called. It's kind of hard to pick up as an epic. Okay, we hit Kahiri, which the plan and not hooking the Honored Lord was that we weren't going to have a unit that could value trade it, so or value attack it. This will have to be fine. Probably just need to pick up the Hammer Snout. It's tempting to pick up the Jawfish, just in that it's so powerful. Maybe we do put the fish on top. I think I can get behind that. We have to put one on top, though. We have to hit a lurk here. So it's like, do we want the interactive card, or do we want to potentially stall to the late game and just get a big kill with the epic? And I could see us definitely going late game with this and trying to get the kill with the epic.
Always 2 steps ahead.
Right, so he's tapped out, so we're free to attack with our 2 attack units here. It's Fiora that can't survive these combats. Good to me. Weird. I mean, he played the Wind and the Wave, but then just didn't have units to sacrifice to it. I guess that's not quite what Hecarim's trying to do, but surprised to see it play out like that. Wouldn't expect too much out of Fiora this game. They did add Mark of the Isles back into the game, and it does live in this Hecarim card pool. Well, it lives in the Shadows and Dust. I'm not sure if it lives in the one that pairs with Azir, but Mark of the Isles was deemed to be too good too long ago, and it's back in action now. It gives you the +2/+2 and gives them the unit Ephemeral. I think card quality wise, it's fine. I just don't think Shadow Isles really deserves to have combat tricks like that, though. So she got her riposte or something? Sure.
Counter and strike.
Okay. So I think we're good to open. Like, we're not in a huge hurry, in that we have, you know, the fish in our hand. I do worry about and potentially, doing something to, level up this Fiora. But if we get this attack in here and he just doesn't play any cards, I figure he's probably out of barrier-based combat tricks. Oh man. Oh man, the naturalist. Get that out of here, please. So much better than Kahiri here. Get boomed. Gonna get the Shape Stone onto Pyke. Get the 6 damage hit onto Fiora without dying. Be pretty sweet. We're running low on fish for our big fish here, but I think it's okay. Even if this just kills 1 unit, that's still pretty good. Doesn't have the big 7 attack like last game. That one game we got him. He had the +3/+3 from the from other units. Okay, well here's our answer to Hecarim. Shouldn't have any relevant combat tricks here. Barriers are what would cause problems. You could have a sharp sight or something, but we can play through that. See how this goes. Nice. We have to open here. We're not going to get anything out of adding units before the attack. Good, looking good. So we can add this Hammer Snout and then Fish next turn. I dig it. There's an argument that on this turn you could try to like Hammer Snout something and then get attack after the fact, but just too easy for him to have like really relevant dudes that we can't interact with, and I want to get this big old chunk of damage in.
Break their spirits and their souls.
We can't finish if we never begin.
Doesn't seem like the strongest of fish turns. Them adding, and we probably still just have to go for it. Like, what's realistically going to happen with this board? He might add something in which we can, have a good fish. Otherwise, I imagine his plan here is to just hook our Ruin Runner. So, may not have to worry about the Hammer Snout just blanking on something. What, do we want to just go for it? This doesn't seem good. Protege's going to hook here. This Screeching Dragon's going to hook like Kahiri, and then we should be pretty close to guaranteed to killing 2 of his units. There's no way he just like doesn't attack this turn, right? It's gonna have the Ruin Runner come down here, put Kahiri on his 4/5. This thing will, oh, Snapjaw or Hammer Snout. Weird. Okay. Didn't get the good one, but the rest of our attack looks decent here. Sure why the Ruin Runner got to stay on board, right? He's not got any good blockers on it. Like, what's the worst that would happen here? He has a back-to-back? Our guy has Spell Shield.
That old trick again.
Gonna have like another card?
Why not?
Let's. Okay. As I said, I'm not sure how I wanted to handle that. I don't know if he didn't realize our unit had Spell Shield or what was going to happen there. I know we've had a lot of problems with Spell Shield, but it's kind of like, I guess he's going to get to stop 2 units with one of those anyways, right? He's going to get a block on the unit and then get the kill on something else. So he would have only got to punch in with 1. Really sure how that block should have gone. Or that attack, that hook should have gone. Probably still should have just hooked it on a 2-cost unit in the event that his way to try to get out of that was a back-to-back. But okay, so yeah, I mean, we got 7 wins with Pyke. How much of that comes from Pyke doing anything as opposed to just having a decent deck otherwise? I mean, like, pretty low. I don't think... I mean, what do we even do with Pyke? We got some quick attack challenges in that weren't horrible. We did manage to death below like 1 time throughout the entire trial. It's just too hard to like set everything up and have everything going in Expedition. You get to really pick and choose what you're playing in Constructed. You can play all your Call the Packs and all your good predicts, and you can still play Rek'Sais even without Pyke, and it's still just like it's not a good deck. I feel like this was a little bit of a high roll as far as the trial's concerned, but we hit really well with our Kahiri, the students and Xenotype researchers. Like we had like the very good predict cards and just like enough predict and enough lurk to have everything like really run well together. I just think it's too common that you just have way too many of these bad lurk cards. And it's like, if you're looking at the lurk cards that were really successful, it was our Dunebreakers and our Zersai Collars, not so much our Hammer Snouts and our what do you call that stupid the roll the dice thing, the Bloodbait, the Snapjaw Swarm. And so again, like the good cards of this all come out of Sharma. You'd really prefer not to be drafting Pyke, and so as kind of my recap as far as lurkers are concerned, the way you want to do it is you want to be in mono Sharma. And so if you take say a Rek'Sai in pack 1, then in pack 2 you just don't want to take the Bilgewater champion. It just literally anything that isn't the Bilgewater champion will set you on a pretty proper path and on the way to a pretty decent deck. Like the way number 2 to kind of look at that is, if you are in Pyke, then you have to pick up the Shurima champion. These Pyke abilities on his own aren't quite good enough. I don't think playing with like Misfortune and Snapjaw Swarms is actually any good. Just the Pyke on his own, I do not like. And so if you are in Pyke, then I think you have to just pick the Shurima champion second, just to ensure that you end up with a reasonable deck. Then I guess kind of like point number 3, we were really going out of our way to just play 3 Pykes today. I think if you're out here going for your 7 winner, and you're in the exact same situation we were, where you start with Pyke and then pick up Zilean or whoever second, then you want to be taking Rek'Sai as your 3rd and your 4th champions. I think she's just so much incredibly better. Her normal ability is good. Her attack ability is good. Her flip is into Call the Pack, which is just one of the most important cards that you could be picking up here. Rek'Sai is just kind of the real deal, and Pyke is just kind of like a average unit. And so that's the way that I kind of recommend that you pursue the Lurkers. I don't think Predict Lurkers with PNZ is particularly good. So if you're looking to be in Pyke plus what's his name? Echo, that style of deck, the Predict Lurkers deck, I don't think that's any good. Just because the Pyke cards are so bad. And so if you're looking to do Sharma plus PNZ, that's completely fine. Like if you find Echo or whoever, even if you pick up like Vi with your Rek'Sai, that's okay. But long story short, and all of the rambling here basically comes down to the Bilgewater Lurkers just are not very good. and the Shurima Lurkers are extremely good, and you need to do whatever you can to maximize getting your Shurima Lurkers. Otherwise, the big thing to consider with these is it's really tough to close out games. You do need to pick up the big overwhelms to end it. That's why you see us ending with 4 of the Zersai Doombreakers here. Just you don't want to end up in that spot that you see with Ballistic Bot, where you have these gigantic lurker units, but then your opponent's just trading their 2-drops with them. You need something that can come out here and close out the game. The Doombreaker does that just fine. But yeah, that's going to do it for us today. There might be a reward or 2 to click on. I think I might have won a Lab of Legends or something, so something like that might be out and about. Looks like this rewards thing's all lit up. What up, Rek'Sai? Welcome to the squad. Oh, we got a Zilean. I saw the champion thing, just assumed it was going to be Rek'Sai. Okay, got that. Got some kind of chest coming in here. This is appropriate. Call the pack and the Zerareth. And we completely finished off Shurima. Look at this, go us. And the Prismatics, gonna take the unit. Oh cool, got upgraded. Look at this, in Battle Fury, interesting one here. I can't remember if they took Battle Fury completely out of Expedition, but they of course took Tryndamere out of Expedition, they took it out of the Otherworldly Journeys Trundle, and then they also took it out of the other Trundle pool that's a Nivea now. That would have been... wasn't cloning program, the ramp deck, whatever the ramp one was called. They have a name, Enlightenment. It's not, Battle Fury's not in Enlightenment anymore either, and so I haven't made it all the way through. I don't think this exists in Expedition anymore. They also took it out of Fluffed and Tuft, and so since we've been talking about Battle Fury and we'll probably never get to see it again, that's what we'll go ahead and pick up as our Prismatic. Not the Flurry of Fists. Get that shit out of here. And then, what else you got for us? Something on the home screen. All the loots. Oh man, this is a weekly vault. I'm behind the times. What do we got? A Prismatic Reward. We got a Heimerdinger icon. Some kind of capsule. I don't know what we did for that, but dang, I need these commons. 3 sisters, what up? Another chest. Nice. Alright, gotta take the unit. Usgar, I think he does still live in some of those card pools. I think he was still in the Trundle. I think he got pulled from Enlightenment. Right? We got the weekly vault, and that's going to do it for us. Let's see. What up, Sunhawk? We just had a nice little Solari Sunhawk trial before this one. Something cool. All the gems. All the gems, all the dust, whatever this stuff's called. Atacan. And I'm not really impressed with Atacan, but I do think Swiftwing Flight's going to be extremely powerful. Just quite the bro to have an Expedition. Comes into like the 3/2 Challenger for 4 that comes down and just replaces itself would be quite good enough. Having both Scout and that +1/+1 ability, incredibly strong. But our champion wildcard, Expedition token, that is gonna do it. So, hope you all enjoyed the trial today. Hope you learned how to lurk a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.